overall first impressions of last night's debate, and also, I suppose, whether or not you think that it did anything to sway voters in one direction or the other.
I mean, I think there were some moments where each of the leaders were, was possibly connecting with voters. They all had opportunities. They all had moments where they delivered a message that was kind of, not a knockout punch, but something that people might remember, something that people might take away from it. So, when Carney said, for example, like Poilievre was trying to run against Justin Trudeau's not here. Like that kind of message is like, you kind of stop and say, okay, this kind of has impact. But overall, did anything happen that would actually move a vote? If you weren't thinking of voting for someone already, do any of these one-liners, any of these kind of zingers actually move your opinion about things, your opinion about who would become the next prime minister, who's the best person to do that? I'm not sure about that. It just didn't seem to me that anybody got enough momentum, that anybody had such control, such mastery of a narrative that they would have come through much more than anybody else. Obviously, Carney was on the defensive the whole night. Obviously, everybody decided they were going to make him the target. That's totally expected because he's in the lead. Honestly, I think all of the leaders performed exactly as we would expect they would. They all totally showed up the way, totally in a predictable way.
Laurie, early voting started today. What can we expect more broadly for voter turnout this election? Do you think that, the early election call, short campaign window and advanced polling on a long weekend play a role in the voter turnout?
I think that the sense that this election is so consequential, that there's so much at stake here because of our kind of disrupted relationship with the United States, the effect of tariffs, the effect of a potential trade war that's going to go on for a while, the uncertainty around, building new relationships with new trade partners, the possibility of building a pipeline internally so that we would be able to be more self-sufficient, all of those huge questions, the implications for the job market, and then the implications for the economy and how we would offer programs that we want to offer. All of these issues that can present as external are actually really internal too. So given the weight of everything, I would think that the turnout will probably be higher. Usually that happens if there's a sense that there's a really big, important question in an election. This isn't just a kind of routine election. There's something really particular at stake. Usually that has a higher effect, that has the effect of raising the turnout. Also, when an election is not a foregone conclusion. So, a lot of the polls are showing a pretty significant lead for the Liberals at this point, and that seems to have stuck. But some polls show that the gap is narrowing between the two lead parties, and so I suspect that sense that nobody's got it in the bag is also going to contribute to a higher turnout.
Right, political analyst Laurie Turnbull. We have to leave it there, but we appreciate your time and insights. Thanks for joining us.
Yun, isang magandang umaga, isang magandang hapon, at isang magandang gabi sa inyo mga kamamaw. Ayan, nalalapit na. Malalaman na natin kung sino magiging bagong Prime Minister ng Canada. So nakita nyo naman yung English debate nila doon, talagang pukpukan ng ang usapan. Tsaka syempre may mga rin tayo na nagkaroon tayo ng maagang eleksyon. So ngayon, babasahin natin ngayon yung mga nag-research tayo ng para mabasa natin yung mga nangyayari dito sa Canada when it comes sa election. So ayun mga kamamo, nakita nyo naman na parang ang sinasabi din nila na pwede rin kasi nangyayari bakit napaaga yung election day natin, kasi usually kasi October pa dapat ang parang third week of October pa dapat ang election, pero napaaga na ngayon. So ngayon babasahin natin lahat yan. So mag-aano lang ako ng konti about sa election, bakit napaaga. Siyempre maganda rin kasi kung magkakaroon tayo ng maagang election at the same time magkakaroon tayo ng bagong elected na Prime Minister dito sa Canada, is pwedeng maka-apekto rin sa tinatawag na parang trade wars, sa tariff ng US. Pwede rin magbago yun na baka sakaling magpapalit ka ng Prime Minister, is baka maayos na yung mga problema natin, lalong-lalo na dito sa mga taga-Canada. So ayun mga kamamaw, medyo magbabasa lang tayo ng konti about sa eleksyon nangyayari dito sa Canada at kailan ba ang election day. So actually, nagkaroon na sila ng pre-election. So ito, babasahin natin mga kamamaw. Yan. Canada Election 2025. Today is the day to vote in advance poll. Yun, advance poll. Here's how to vote. Pasensya na mga kamamaw, medyo nabulo lang konti. Monday, April 21 is the last day to vote in advance. Polls open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So actually ngayon mga kamamo is April 21. So ito na yung last day ng botohan dito sa pre-election. So ayan, babasahin muna natin ang mga nandito. Monday, April 21 is the final day to vote in advance poll in 2025 Canada federal election. When do advance poll close? Advance poll were open Easter long weekend across Canada. So nagsimula na siya ng Friday. So beginning on Good Friday, April 18, the first of 4 days ending on Monday, April 21. So polls are open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Election Canada shared an image on its Facebook page advising voters pick voting time with the early morning to 1 p.m. being the most popular. Yan. You can find your advanced polling station location on your voter's information card. If you did not receive a voter information card, you can look up the location on the Election Canada website. So ayan, makikita niyo siya dyan. Yan yung ang tanong pa dito is kailan ba ang talagang botohan. So ang talagang botohan is Monday, April 28, 2025. Yan, Election Canada, House of Commons of Canada. Mama, ito naman is para dun sa mga bago pa lang naboboto. Actually ako, maganda rin sa akin na basahin ko to dahil ako permanent resident ako dito, so hindi pa tayo citizen. So ito, malaking bagay sa akin to kung babasahin ko to at syempre isi-share ko sa inyo, lalo din sa mga bago pa lang dito or yung mga first time voters dito sa Canada. So ito, Election 2025, everything you need to know to register to vote and cast your ballot. Election day is April 28, but there are several ways to vote of time. Yan. CBC, ito. Election day is less than a month away, and Canadians will have a number of options when they cast their ballots. We try to meet Canadians where they at Election Canada spokesperson Matthew McKenna told CBC News. Here's everything you need to know about how to register to vote and exercise your democratic right. How to register vote. Ayan, meron din tayo dito. If you voted in the last federal election and haven't moved since 2021, chances are you're already registered to cast your ballot this year. So it means di mo na kailangan magpa-register dahil kung bumoto ka na ng 2021, automatic may record na sila. So para din ito sa kaalaman din ng lahat. The good news is most Canadians are registered, McKenna said. But if you're voting for the first time, ito na yun sa mga bagong botante, you will need to register with Election Canada. Alternatively, if you have moved since 2021 vote, you will need to update your information. Registering or updating your information can be done in various ways. The easiest way is to go to our website, McKenna said. Yan, so ayun na. So kailangan na lang kayo. Silipin nyo na lang sa website kung paano mag-ano. Ito na yun. Nasaan ba yung website na sinabi? Hanapin ko lang. Ayun, sa Canada election website. So yun, mag-ano lang kayo kung paano. May mga doon na way of paano nyo ma-re-register yung nyo. So ito na nga na parang napapag-usapan na natapos na yung pre-election, tapos April 28 na. So instead ng October pa natin kakaroon ng botohan, is actually ako medyo nagre-ready na tayo sa Canadian citizenship natin eh. Ina-expect ko na hopefully kung makapasa ako is makakahabol pa sana ako ng October. So hindi na pala habol kahit sabihin natin nakapasa ka na ngayon ay botohan eh. Wala pa kasi automatic pag nakapag-apply ka ng citizenship and then nakapasa ka, ano pa yun eh. Parang kumbaga papadalang ka lang na nakapasa ka sa exam pero may process pa rin eh. So di na rin ako aabot kung sakali mang napaaga yung exam natin. Pero kung October pa, baka may chance pa. Gusto ko pa namang bumoto. Siyempre, meron tayong nasa puso natin na kung sino ba yung gusto natin. Lahat naman tayo dito, lahat naman sila na may mga kanya-kanya silang propaganda or mga bagay na gustong gawin dito sa Canada para mapaganda yung Canada. Pero syempre, dumarating tayo sa point, may mga tao din tayo nakakausap na ito kasi daw malakas, ito daw yung tahimik lang o sakto lang, ito yung matunog talaga sa tao. Ang sinasabi din nila is hanggat di mo naman sila na-experience o hindi mo sila nakikita yung galaw nila, hanggat hindi pa sila ang mismo nakaupo, hindi natin malalaman kung yung mga pangako ba nila is matutupad or magagampanan nila na maayos yung nila. Basically, yun yung mga sinasabi lalo ng mga Canadian friends natin na we'll see. Parang kasi sinabi nila na ito yung carbon tax tatanggalin na nga. So meron ding advantage at disadvantage yung pagkakatanggal nga ng carbon tax, na yung carbon tax ngayon is syempre medyo bababa yung yung mga like for example yung sa gasolina natin, lahat ng merong part ng carbon tax na idinadagdag is mawawala. Totally mawawala yun, lalo na pag sinabi ang nangako talaga nung si Polivier na pag si Polivier ay nanalo, tatanggalin na yung carbon tax. So yung advantage. So yung disadvantage naman, dahil dun sa mga carbon tax na nakukuha natin ay na kinakaltas sa atin, ay meron namang carbon tax rebate. So don't expect na magkakaroon ka pa ng rebate kung tatanggalin yung carbon tax. So yun yung advantage tsaka disadvantage. Pero syempre, sabi ko nga sa inyo, dun sa lahat ng mga tumatakbo as a prime minister position, lahat naman sila is deserving. Kasi hindi naman basta-basta rin o biro din yung pwesto nila ng mga na tumakbo sila. Ibig sabihin, may kakayanan sila. Meron silang knowledge when it comes sa pamamalakad ng bansa. Ang lang noon, ang pinakapagkakaano lang nila comparison nun is paano nila papatakbuhin ang Canada. Kung magiging effective ba sila, yung mga rules na gagawin nila, lahat ng pamamalakad nila is para ba makatulong sa mga kapwa or mga mamamayan dito sa Canada. Yun lang naman ang pinag-uusapan doon. Na sana nga kung sino man yung manalo o sino man ang palaro maging prime minister, sana magkaroon ng pagbabago when it comes sa Canada. Dahil sa totoo lang, kung ang natin is, for example, is yung sinusweldo natin ngayon, ibabalik mo siguro, like for example, nag-upgrade ka na from dating Tim Hortons, hindi ko pa minamalit yung yung mga basic salary bang tinatawag is, nagsimula ka sa gano'n nung dati nung 10 years ago, nakakasurvive ka pa, what more pa kaya ngayon, ang taas na ng cost of living dito sa Canada. Hindi ko na masasabi kung kaya mo pa mag-survive sa ganong klaseng sweldo. Ibig nga sa medyo nag-upgrade ka na ng trabaho, nabibitin ka pa rin, what more pa kaya yung mga basic salary na ganun lang, tapos pamilyado ka pa. So yun mga kamamo, ganito lang kaigsi yung natin. So automatic tapos na yung pre-election, and then April 28 na ang talagang botohan dito sa Canada. So sana manalo ang karapat-dapat. Ay mga kamamo, maraming salamat sa inyo. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates of my video. See you mga kamamo.